What's up, gaming heroes? Welcome back to another awesome World of Warcraft video. In today's video, we're actually going to be talking about the state of World of Warcraft in patch 9.2. Is the game still worth playing or not? Well, I have made a couple of negative videos recently, and I think that a lot of people have kind of got this misconception that I am saying World of Warcraft is no longer worth playing. This is not the case, and I'm going to discuss exactly why. But before we do that, let's give a quick thank you to my wonderful patrons who continue to support the channel with their real life money. You guys are awesome. You're getting access to my awesome guides on erosiumtv.com. I've just released a brand new gold farming section to my website, which has about 28 guides in. Juicy, jam-packed, filled with the best gold farming techniques out there on the tinternet. So if you are a supporter on Patreon, you'll get access to that. But without further ado, let's get into this video. World of Warcraft 2022 is worth playing. Is it? Is it though, Erosium? Be honest, I play Final Fantasy. I don't think World of Warcraft's very good. No. We're not doing that today. That's not what we're doing today. We're talking about what we like about World of Warcraft and what we don't like about World of Warcraft in patch 9.2. What I don't like about World of Warcraft in patch 9.2 is Blizzard's flagrant, quite obvious manipulation of the audience to encourage World of Warcraft WoW tokens to be bought. They are, instead of going with the previous legendary systems that worked really well in past expansions, they've decided to change things up and make it so that we have to buy our legendaries from the auction house, if we want to stay relevant in high-end gameplay, such as heroic raids, mythic raids, PvP, battlegrounds, rated PvP, and other forms of gameplay like that. You gotta have your legendary, right? And anyone who is trying to take themselves seriously wants to have the best legendary for their class. This is gonna set you back about 300,000 gold, and typically for most players who, don't have a lot of time to play the game, who only literally log on just for a couple hours a day, they don't want to be spending all their time doing gold farming. They want to spend their time playing the game, and therefore it's quite hard for them to accumulate that sort of gold just to spend on player power. In previous expansions, player power has been connected to quest lines, not their wallet. So it's a bit weird now that the game's feeling a bit more pay to win, where, those who have the most money IRL can potentially get their player power faster, easier, than anyone else, which is really difficult, and to me seems like a flagrant, obvious manipulation of the player base, especially when in previous expansions we have been able to access this player power through questing. That is the one bad thing about patch 9.2. Apart from that, we do have one other slight negative, but it's also clouded because it's got a huge silver lining. I'm going to call it a gold lining in this regard, because it has a lot of positives to it, and that is Zereth Mortis. Zereth Mortis is quite an interesting one. Upon first getting in there, I just saw the time-gated system of research, and I was like, no, please, Blizzard, stop with this time-gating nonsense, man. It doesn't at all value the player's time and effort. All it's saying is do 20 minutes a day and you can stay relevant in gameplay. You should be able to stay relevant in gameplay with 20 minutes a day, but you shouldn't be time-gated to say, oh, this research is going to take you 3 days to get. It already takes 3 days of gaming to get that amount of research done. Like, to get amount of currency to be able to get the research done in the first place. So there's no point doing time gating. It doesn't value people's time. If you've got a player who wants to put 5 to 10 hours of hardcore gameplay in to go faster than everyone else, they should be able to do that. Because this is an MMO RPG, grinding and hard work should be rewarded. However, you could also just keep the same system, but get rid of the time restraints of the research. The research time restraints is really where I feel like the time-gated nonsense really just put a lot of people off Zereth Mortis. Me in particular, it took me quite a lot of of forced effort to push myself to go through Zereth Mortis. But let's not get it twisted. Zereth Mortis is really, really fun, dudes. Oh my gosh, it is really fun. You have rares to kill, and there is so many rares to kill. They drop pretty good gear, so if you're trying to gear your ults, it's especially good in that regard. It's got a unique crafting system that allows you to craft pets and even potentially mounts. It's got unique transmogs that aren't just reskins of all the other transmogs in the games. They're actually unique, which is pretty gosh darn awesome. And then we can't ignore the obvious factor of this is the first Shadowlands zone which isn't utter garbage in terms of how it looks. Zereth Mortis is filled with greenery, weird like technological alien type creatures that just are really cool to look at, to be honest. And there are so many different levels and areas that you really feel like you're in a whole other zone, not just another doomy, gloomy death zone like the Maw. Please, please don't mention the Maw ever again. I hate that place with a passion. Not only that, but Zereth Mortis actually has a load of different various gold making methods and catch-up mechanics that will allow players, especially new players that have not played Shadowlands before, to hit level 60 and then get all your gear really, really quickly. You can buy a 226 item level piece of gear for 500 anima from the vendor in Zereth Mortis. This is such a useful catch-up mechanic because 226 will get you into Mythic Plus. It will get you into Looking for Raid. When Looking for Raid comes out, it'll easily get you into Battleground. It's just a good stepping stone for getting into the high-end content. This is exactly what we needed, and if you go around killing rares, you can get loads of gear as well. It's quite useful. I think that is exactly what World of Warcraft needs. So when people say to me, Erosium, you've made a few negative videos recently. Do you really think World of Warcraft is so bad? Well, no, I don't. I just think there are a couple bad things about patch 9.2 that I think it's important to not hide my head in the sand about. I think you've got to raise the awareness of these bad points in order to improve and move forward. Those people that are just like, oh, the bad points don't matter. They don't matter. No, you can do this to get around the bad points. You guys need to realize, yeah, that when we ignore these bad points, they get worse. Blizzard continue to do them. That is why we have them in the first place, because we didn't address it fully with Blizzard, and that's why it continues to get worse. This whole pay to win for player power, do you really think that if we don't kick off enough fuss about it, Blizzard won't turn around and literally just make it so that you buy player power from a vendor for like 2 WoW tokens worth? Do you think that they won't do that? Because at the moment, guys, we're buying this player power from the auction house. But what if Blizzard turns around and says, right, guys, it worked so well last expansion, let's do it in this one, and they make the player power bought from a vendor. From a vendor. That means the WoW token price will go down because there's less gold in the economy, because all the people are paying the gold into a vendor, so it's disappearing from the economy, and therefore when you buy a WoW token, you'll get less gold for your IRL money. If we do not kick off about the whole pay-to-win situation in World of Warcraft, then you're effectively encouraging Blizzard to do it more so. So it's really important that when we don't like something, we gotta shout it out. But when we do like something, we also have to shout it out, because Blizzard do a great job in some aspects and a poor job in others. So it's really important to point that out. Blizz, we really love the really well thought out, designed zones. I really wish I could access flying a little bit quicker, but when I do access flying, I know I'm going to love Zereth Mortis. So if you were to ask me, is World of Warcraft worth playing in patch 9.2? I'd say yeah, it's damn worth playing. And it's a really, really fun time. If you've got any thoughts about what I've discussed in this video, or just general things that I've missed that you think are worth sticking to this video, please let me know. I would love to hear it. I haven't talked in detail about things like the raiding experience, the PvP and Mythic Plus, and there's a reason for that. I want to talk about that in a separate video, but thanks so much for watching. This is Erosium out, and I will see you next time.